yourselves for discussions about the unknown, ghosts, UFOs, myths, and more. Tonight from Great Britain, here are your hosts, Helena and Alex.
People always ask me, what is it like being a paranormal investigator or ghost hunter or whatever you want to say. I always say, you look like a maniac standing in the dark, freezing your ass off, talking to no one.
Yeah. It's possibly the definition of insanity. Sitting in the dark, talking to nothing, hoping for a response. So.
Hoping that the air knocks back.
Yeah. Speak to me. You're sitting in the dark by yourself. What's going on? I don't know. I'm waiting for something to talk back to me. I don't know. But it is amazing what they do.
We're scientists, right?
No, we're not. We're mentals that stand in the dark.
Okay, fair enough.
In the middle of the night, facing all weathers to talk to no one.
True. We do that. You're absolutely right. That's what we do. And people think we're a little bit out there because maybe we are, but that's okay. You know, it makes us more interesting, I think. It's
mental.
Right? Yeah, it makes us more interesting. You know, that's why people like to talk to us, too. You know, so, all kinds of people.
But we seem to get a lot of, like, EVPs and stuff because I'm not talking to them like they're special. To me, they're people.
Yes, that's right.
And then they'll talk back. And the amount of times I've got EVPs of them laughing at me. Because I'm so rude. It's unbelievable.
That's alright too. At least they're responding. You know,
that's true.
They're communicating. Some way or another. They are, you know. They think you're funny or whatever. But, now, there's something, we're getting on a little bit of a topic, I think. How do you approach spirits? How do you talk to them?
Well, I don't pull them in. I let them talk to me first. If they don't want to talk to me, that's fine.
Right.
But if they want to talk to me, then I'm here for them to talk to me. I don't think it's fair to drag a spirit in and make them talk to you. Because,
I agree with that, yeah.
Because in my head, it's like, we don't like being stopped by people in the street asking, like, charity people being stopped in the street, being spoken to, and people asking us questions and stuff by total strangers. Why would they?
No. That's what I tell people. I talk to them like I talk to anybody I meet. I introduce myself. Yeah, hey, you know, I'm here to talk to you. But that's what I'll do when I go in a location. I'll explain, you know, usually when we go into a home or just a historical site or something like that, I'll explain to whoever might be there why I'm there, what we're there for, and that we're there to talk to them and to hear their story.
Yeah.
I find
that's how I approach them, and then I try to talk to them that way. Yeah. I tell people when I'm at lectures and stuff, I said, you know, if somebody comes into your house or you go into somebody's house, the first thing you do, go, hey, what's your favorite color? Oh, do you know you're dead? Oh, hey, do you... I mean, do you do that to people?
You don't ask people that question.
And if you did, what's going to happen? They're going to tell you, get the hell out.
Yeah. I find some people, when they're sort of trying to communicate with spirits, they can be slightly patronising as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like we've been on investigations with other teams, and I'm just sitting there thinking, why are you talking to them like they're children? I mean, okay, there might be children at the location, but forget that. I mean, why are you talking to them like they're children? They're adults. I mean, they're soldiers. It's a fort.
Right.
Talk to them like a human being. Don't start talking to them like they're 7-year-olds.
Yeah, I'll read their personalities and get to know them. And the more I get to know them, then the more I know how I can talk to them, what I can say to them.
Yep. Oh, I love you guys. I love how you investigate. You guys got it. You guys figured it out. You know, you got it. You got it right. And you know, and that's what I do. And I think too many teams that come up just go with the stuff they see on TV. You know, because that's what they know. Oh, we learned to investigate by watching all these shows. Yeah, but those guys are doing it. I mean, a lot of the shows, and even a little bit the ones I'm on, are for entertainment. That's what they're about, you know. Yeah. Can you tell a story? Can you tell the real story? Yes, you can. But then the production companies are going to play things up a little bit. I mean, they even do on... I like working on Paranormal Survivor and Haunted Case Files because they don't play things up too much. They don't they don't move too far from the actual story. Yeah. They do a little bit, but but at least they're getting it across, and at least you're hearing us actually talk, us investigators during the interviews are telling you what really happened. So you're getting that part of it. But the shows, where the guys go out, they investigate locations, stuff like that, you're just hearing the canned questions, and that's what most people think you have to do to investigate. You just go in and ask, who is here? We want to talk to you. What's your name? And, do you know you're dead? And, do you talk to people that way?
I don't think we've ever asked them if they know that they're dead. Obviously, you work with Spirits of New England.
Yes.
And San Diego Ghost Hunters. How does that commute work?
It's a long commute.
Yeah. See, I know geography well enough to know that San Diego is in the other corner of the country.
It is a long way. It is a long way. But I used to, the funny thing is, my friends at San Diego Ghost Hunters, I met them. I used to travel a lot to Yuma, Arizona for my regular job, my full-time job, which I worked for the Department of Defense. And I used to have to go out to Yuma, Arizona to testing grounds out there and do a lot of testing. And I said, there's got to be a local paranormal team around here somewhere because I'm going nuts on the weekends doing nothing. So I found San Diego Ghost Hunters online. I emailed them, and my friend Maritza Scandunas emailed me back within an hour saying, we'd love to, come on down this weekend. We'll meet with you and blah, 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 blah. We'll share stories. And it just went from there. And they set up to have me investigate a place with them that weekend, and so we did that. And it was the Whaley House in San Diego, which it's touted as one of the most haunted homes in America.
Yep.
So and I had some interesting experiences there, and I also did the Star of India with them and a couple other places. But now it's like I try to get out there once a year just to hang out with my friends out there and meet with them, and we do some investigations, and I stay at Mertz's house these days and stuff like that. So they become really good friends and stuff. I don't get to investigate with them too much, not as much as I wish I could, just because of the distance. But we talk all the time.
America's quite a diverse country. Like, obviously, the West Coast is completely different to the East Coast.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
So,
it is,
do you find that spirits are different on the West Coast than they are to the East Coast?
No, not really. I mean, people are people.
Yeah.
As far as human spirits go, people are people. They're the same. Whether they all have what was important to them, and they had their life they were trying to live and things they were trying to accomplish, and and some of them are stuck here, or some of them decided to stay because they just liked that location so much. It was home to them. That's kind of, I think, their slice of heaven, I guess you could say. But no, I don't notice too much difference. I mean, people say, well, there's more haunted locations here on the East Coast than the West Coast just because of the age. Now, you guys, oh my God, where you guys are, that's, it's where we all came from, for God's sake. So,
Yeah, don't you forget it.
But on the East Coast here, I mean, it's, we have a lot of homes on the East Coast that were built in the 1600s, that those people came from England and France and Spain. They all came here and settled here, different locations. So in that particular realm, we have more locations here than on the West Coast, because that was settled much later. But there is, Indian spirits and stuff out there as well. So that's a whole different thing, probably more than what we have here.
So Jack, we've kind of mentioned Paranormal Survivor.
Yeah.
So, why don't you tell us how that came about? How did you end up being on the show?
An email. we get emails all the time. Our team gets emails all the time, and other teams do, from all these shows and all this stuff. And it's half the time they're BS. And we had, it was that one year. It was back in 2014 or 2013. I forget when. There was like a slew of them, but this one came through from this company called Our House Media, and I was reading it, and it's like, this actually seems legit. I said, well, let me take a look. I looked up they had their website, and I looked it up, and it's like, oh, they actually produce quite a few different types of shows. And they were doing stuff for all different kind of shows. A lot of them air up in Canada on the Travel and Escapes channel up there, and they were doing some stuff that was down here in the States. Story. Were they doing the story of us? No, I don't think they were doing that. They were doing a bunch of stuff. Nothing paranormal. And this was the first paranormal show they were going to do. So I called Ellen, our team founder, and I said, Ellen, this one seems kind of legit. Do you want me to call him? She goes, it's probably bogus, but if you want to call him, go ahead and call him. So I said, okay. So I called him, and I talked to the woman up there for 2 hours, asking her questions. She was answering my questions. She'd ask me some, and it was like, okay, these guys really seem legit. And she asked me, do you have a client who would like to tell their story? Or I said, I don't know. I said, let me make a couple phone calls, and I'll see, and I'll just ask and see if I know of anybody. And she goes, okay. And she goes, get back to me in about a couple weeks, or if you can. And I okay. So they were very, easygoing about it, and I had a good conversation. And I did have a client, younger couple, out of Pawtucket that had a very bad haunting, and they wanted to tell their story. They're younger, so they were into that and stuff, but they did want to tell their story, and I'm like, okay. So we did that, and it went very well, and I was very pleased with the fact that our house media did a really nice job of telling the story without playing it up and making it a demonic.
Yeah.
And they really told the people's story and really showed some of our evidence, and they interviewed the clients very nice. The people, when we did the interviews and we did the filming, they were a fun bunch of people to hang around and be with, the film crew, and I just enjoyed it. And it was just on a whim. I mean, I didn't expect to do much more than that. And then next thing I knew, they were calling me, asking me if I wanted to do anything else, the second season with them, and if I wanted to be one of their, quote, experts on the show. I don't like that term, but that's the term they use. I don't know if they don't know what else to call it anyway. So, and then the next thing I know, they're calling me about doing haunted case files, and they really wanted me to do that with them. So I'm like, yeah, okay, and that's what I've been doing. We've been doing them. We're going to be doing season 3 of Paranormal Survivor, and also going to be it's in the works now to do season 2 of Haunted Case Files too. So now I don't know if did they call it the second show Haunted Case Files. Do you guys know if it's called that over there, or is it called something else?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because somebody said something about Paranormal Investigators, and originally that's what it was named, and then they changed the name. So I didn't know if they carried that name over to the UK or they went with Haunted Case Files.
No,
I was curious. I just didn't know. So we're going to be doing that, and I just like how OHM approaches it. OHM is our house media. I just like how they approach things and how they tell the stories, and I've been very pleased with the way they did the stories on Haunted Case Files. And they play a few things up, but I get that. That's TV, but they really did stick to the stories.
Yeah.
So that was good. And they did a nice job of giving a lot of the background information that I gave them on the historical locations like Taft Public Library and some of the other places. So they did a really nice job with it. So I've been pleased. I mean, when you're doing this type of stuff, you got to go in with the understanding that, it's TV. It's about ratings. It's about entertainment. They're going to change a few things, But as long as they don't get crazy with it, I'm okay with it, I mean, they got a guy who plays me, which I love because he's totally not like me at all.
Why don't you
the way he acts, he's very emotional. He's really, exciting, and what to watch is like, oh boy, I just kind of don't do that, but that's okay.
That's amazing.
But it makes for a show,
Why don't you play yourself?
It's all. Yeah, it's like anything else. People get upset sometimes because, the show didn't do, that's not the way I act, and I said, who cares, whatever. People enjoy it, they're watching it, it's doing well, but they're also getting some information out of it. I've had clients now approach us because they saw the show and they didn't know who else to approach. They've tried approaching some of the other people from other shows and they get no responses. I'm not like that. I'll talk to people. I'll try to give them some information and try to help them out if I can. So
funny story.
It's been a good venue for us to try to help more people.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think of the paranormal investigation teams that will play up on a haunting to scare the owner of the house or whatever, so that they keep getting called back and charging them money and stuff?
Oh my God! Oh yeah. Well, where's my crucifix? I gotta put it up to hold them away. Are they like vampires? You know?
Yeah.
I don't like to talk about other people. I mean, I think that's ridiculous. Okay, I don't do that. We try to solve people's problems. They want to move on with their lives. We want to try to help them move on with their lives.
Yeah.
We don't charge them either.
No,
I'll do a house cleansing. I don't even charge for that. You know, some people will do the investigation for free and then they'll charge for house cleansing. That's their business. I don't care. I don't do that.
Yeah.
All right. Half the time I end up trying to help people buy some of the stuff they need or give them some extra things to help keep the home safe because, you know, a lot of these people don't have much money. They can't afford it. I've bought some nice crucifixes for people and given them to them. I've bought they had a couple Jewish clients. I bought some things for them to put in their home and tell them, get back to your religion, get back in touch with that and your family.
Yeah.
And put a lot of positive energy back into your home.
Yeah.
You know, get rid of that negativity. We'll
Yeah,
help you get the negativity out, and then bring the
well.
positive back in. You know, be a family. But I try to not go back as much as possible. It's like, I don't want to go. I got other things. I got other people to help. Please. Yeah. You know, and I'll make a drive. I got to drive sometimes. You know, a couple hours or so to get to these people, and they appreciate it. I mean, they do. They'll give us. Maybe make you dinner. Maybe let me do this for you, and I'm all for that. You know, but I don't want their money, and we don't. No, our team does not. We don't want your money. We don't want anything from you. We just want to try to help you. It helps us, though. I mean, by investigating and trying to find out, is there something there, isn't there something there, or what could be causing your problems that's not paranormal, it helps us become better investigators.
Yeah.
And help more people later on.
At the end of the
as
day,
far
it's
as
our hobby,
people who
so,
do it for money, you know, I don't do it that way. If that's what they're in it for, I don't know what to tell them. You know, everybody has their own agendas. Everybody has their own things they want to do it for. I think a lot of people get into the field for the wrong reasons. They all think this is one thing I like to say at my lectures, because people will ask me, what did you get into the paranormal for? Why did you start this? I did it for the money. I love to spend it.
Pretty much.
Because you do, yeah. I love to spend money, you know.
Pretty much.
I don't make anything at it, that's really for sure, but I love to spend it, you know. So, but some people they want to do it for a career, and, you know, it's very rare if you can make a career out of this, you know.
No, I mean,
it doesn't pay bills, you know.
One thing we want to get out of this is just recognition, if anything, you know. We want to be known, but we're not bothered about making money or being famous. We just want respect.
I just want to bring real investigations to people, because what you see on TV is not how an investigation actually is.
Oh, and it can't be. It'd be too boring. Okay, it would be too boring for television. Again, television is about ratings and entertainment.
No,
that's what it's about.
You got to think in a whole episode of, say, I don't know, Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures or any of them, you see about 40 minutes of footage of an investigation, which is taken from at least 6 to 12 hours.
Probably more than that. They
footage,
spend usually 2 to 3 days at a location, which you don't see. Yeah.
You know,
I know Jay and Grant and the other guys, and Dustin Perry, I know, he's a friend of mine. We know these guys, and they'll be the first to tell you, you don't see a third of what we do. But it's TV. You can't. You never will. And they're going to show you only the most important things to the story and the most exciting things to the story.
Yeah.
Right? That's the way TV is, and like I said, that's what I'm saying. If you get involved with a TV show, you have to go in with the understanding that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But there is some things you can keep control over. You can keep control over how you yourself are presented, how you come across, and stick to your own beliefs. I mean, with Haunted Case Files, working with OHM, they know, they want you to say the D word all the time. They know I won't do it unless I really think that's maybe what was going on.
Yeah.
and they know that, and I tell them that when the director's there, and she's like, was it this? No, it wasn't. I always tell them, I know what you're looking for me to say, but I can't say that because that's not what was happening. I can tell you this, though.
Yeah.
This is what it was, what I believe it was, and this is what I believe was going on.
I mean, I obviously like paranormal shows and stuff, but I do sometimes feel like they're getting into the realms of horror film rather than actual documentary, right. I suppose. But
you're right. I can agree with that. And I love the shows too. I watch all the different ones. I always liked watching, the Ghost Hunters, Ghost Hunters International, even Ghost Adventures. They were fun to watch. I loved Nick Groff. All right, he's great to watch. He's got a head on his shoulders, and I like the stuff he does. But they're not bad people. They're trying to make shows. So you got to have that understanding. Yeah, Ghost Hunters, to be honest, I owe where I am kind of to those guys. They inspired us and our team, me and our whole team, to really get into this. And used to go to their events and stuff like that. And in a way, I owe them rekindling my own, my own passion for it when the show came out. So, thanks to those guys, because I think they also, by doing that show helped bring a lot of us all together to be able to talk about these types of things more openly and without any ridicule or people laughing about it. Oh, Ghost, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I do like about Ghost Adventures is their use of technology, because it gives us a lot of ideas of things we could use like in the future or things we could put together. I mean, it was because of Ghost Adventures we learned about using the Xbox Kinect, for example. And
that's just it. There's a lot of technology out there. I found that the more I investigate, the less of it I like to use, though.
Yeah, we usually only use a couple of bits, to be honest.
Yeah, we've got so much, but we don't always use it.
I got a few things I like that work really well, and I was never a big flashlight person, but we were investigating Fisher College in Boston the other night, and wasn't having too much else really work, so I said, let me try the flashlight. And son of a gun, I had a lot of responses with the flashlight. It's not random.
So what is your favourite bit of equipment then, if you had to choose?
My cell phone.
Fair enough.
I'll tell you why. Because on my cell phone, once I put it in airplane mode, I have a digital recorder. I have what I like to use, which is the Ghost Radar device, the Ghost Radar app. And I have some other apps I like to use, including a spirit box. So I can run any one of those things right from that phone.
That's awesome.
And boy, you know what it cost me? Let me see, to have like 4 apps on there that I really like to use, it cost me under $10 to have them all. Granted, the phone costs a little bit of money, but everybody has one, so,
Because if it's an iPhone, then that's about, what, a $500 phone?
yeah, it's about but I pay over, it's monthly now, so, it's with the service, so I'm okay with that, That's the way it works over here now. There's 2 pieces of equipment you absolutely really need, right? One is a digital recorder, and 2 is you. Actually, 1 is you, and 2 is a digital recorder, but, if you want to put them in order. Because without yourself, and nothing, things can't turn themselves on, but without you, you can't feel out what a location feels like. You can't tell if maybe there's something going on.
Yeah.
You got to get in touch with your senses and yourself and feel a place out.
Yeah, definitely.
And Elena, you know what I'm talking about there, right?
Yeah.
So, and you both do. You both know what I'm talking about when I say that.
What I say to people is always go with your gut instinct as well. If there's something in that location you do not feel safe, don't risk it, don't stay there.
Right.
Go with your gut instinct. If you're scared and you do not want to be there, there's clearly a reason that is inside you. There is a reason for that. Don't stay there just to try and be brave. If you don't want to be there and you can't handle it, go.
That's right, walk out. Now me, and probably you, and probably Alec, we stay.
Yeah.
Because we know something's about to happen. And that's what we're there for,
You say that, but I mean, we've just uploaded another episode on YouTube, yeah, and it's edited so it doesn't look this way. I'm going to admit this.
You ran.
I was in a tunnel network at this fort, and I was literally in there for about 10 minutes before I legged it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
It got that intense, did it?
Well, it doesn't look like it, but it felt the atmosphere. I mean, you could cut it
That's
with a
what I'm saying.
knife.
It's how it feels,
felt
yeah.
so heavy.
Babe, you were terrified.
I mean, and it was there was a bang which I can deal with, but then there was like this weird scratching noise behind me.
The footage
And
was hilarious.
That freaked the hell out of me, and I just was like, okay, I'm going now. I've had enough.
Yeah, I don't blame. I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you at all. But we'll have stuff happen like that. And people ask me, "Aren't you really afraid on investigations?" And I have to be honest, I'm really not, because I'm so intent on trying to figure out what's going on that I'm not really thinking about things that way. I'm trying to figure out, what was that? What did I just hear? What was that bang? What is that scratching noise? Where's it coming from? What is it?
That time, that time when I did leave, in that 10 minutes, I think I caught more than I had ever caught in, I don't know how many years of investigating, within those 10 minutes of me running out. So, you know. Well,
there has been twice that I can really say I was afraid. I was really afraid. And that was on one of the shows at the Houghton Mansion. I was down in the basement. It was actually the next morning. It wasn't that night, like they say. We were going down the next morning. We were starting to pick up equipment, and I just went down there by myself. And the minute I stepped down there, it was like, holy Jesus, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I can't stay here. I mean, it just got this wave of, like, you do not belong here type of thing. It's like, I had to go up and get one of our other investigators, come back down, help me pick stuff up. And I got out of there real quick, too. I didn't waste time down there. I grabbed the stuff and went back upstairs. I was really afraid to be down there. And that was during the day. But the night before, when we investigated, I didn't have that feeling at all. I don't know what was going down there that next morning, what was going on, or what that was, but it was not good, and it did scare me, and I didn't really want to be down there, but I had to get the equipment. The only other time was on the Star of India out in San Diego with my friends out there, and they were trying to find out who had murdered this girl on the ship, and I'm filming it with them, and we started, every time we started talking about this one individual, we got these heavy, heavy footsteps above us on the deck. And you could hear this pacing, boom, 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 boom. It's like, what the hell? I wanted to get the hell out of there. And if I was alone, I probably sure as heck would have. But being with the other two investigators, I stayed.
What would you say is like your best bit of evidence that you've ever got, or something you're really proud of?
My favorite piece of evidence is an EVP. We captured it on the USS Constitution, what's called Old Ironsides. It's the oldest commissioned naval ship here in the United States. We investigated it for the Navy back in 2010 because they had some things they knew were going on. The crew was afraid to go on the ship at night. But our second night of our two-night investigation that the Navy gave us, we're on the main gun deck. We're up towards the front of the ship, which they used to call the manger area. Now, this ship was built in the 1700s.
Yeah.
It's all wooden ship. And in those days, they keep live animals on the ship, right? And he was telling us about what they kept, because, no refrigeration. You have to keep live animals and then butcher them as you need them. So he's saying, they kept cows, pigs, chickens. And then, I go, that's interesting. And then you hear this young boy's voice saying, it said, and a bear. Now, we didn't hear that. It's captured on my recorder. It's an EVP. When we played it back, we're like, and it's a heavy New England accent. Now, there's no kids on the ship with us. It's me and the boatswain's mate who was with us, and our investigators, Ellen, Sharon, and Beck, and Sarah. And so it's none of them. It's this heavy New England accent of this little boy saying, and a bear. And when we did our research after, actually when we did the reveal to the captain and his officers, when we played that, I saw like 10 feet from him, I see his jaw drop, and he turns around to his crew and goes, Commodore Scrappy. And we're like, what are you guys talking about? Commodore Scrappy. black bear cub they kept on the ship as a mascot in the 1930s.
Whoa.
Like, whoa, okay. Well, when I did the research and found out there was 5 boys that died on the ship, all in the 1800s. 2 drowned, 2 died of dysentery, and 1 fell from the mast. And they were boys, and they were ranged from ages 8 to 15. And they were crew members. That's what they're called, a boy.
Yeah.
Only 5 of them ever died, all in the 1800s. So how does this boy from the 1800s know about a black bear cub in 1932 if he's not still there and still learning?
Yeah. A lot
That
we
is
say
the most
spirits
beautiful
learn.
piece of evidence I ever captured just because of that. It tells you spirits do exist, they are intelligent, and they're still around, and they're still learning.
Yeah, that's what we've said, because we got an SB7 response from a soldier, and I asked if he was from World War One or World War Two.
Yeah.
And obviously in World War One it wasn't called World War One, but he said one, which shows to me that he knows that there's been another war, and he knows that the name's changed.
Right.
So he's
Because
learning.
what did they call war? Is the Great War?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know a little bit of my history.
But it would
yeah,
be
the war to end all wars, right? Yeah, that didn't happen either. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're intelligent. They know. They're still learning. They hear what other people say.
Yeah.
You know, and that boy was not the first. That's not the only EVP we got from him, and we had interaction with him. And one of our investigators, Beck, actually saw him peeking around a doorway that we had opening and closing for us on command.
That's
and
amazing.
That was pretty wild.
What would you say is your favourite location and worst location?
Favorite location probably is the USS Constitution. It's probably my favorite location. We only got there to be on there 2 nights. I would love to get back there again, but we had such great activity there and such interaction. Such actually not even nice EVPs. Even kind of being rude a little bit. You know, it was the last night. I was like, didn't seem to be getting anything, and I just go, yeah, come on, we're gonna be leaving. You're not talking to us. You're pretty rude or whatever. I get this EVP of this other sailor saying, "You're welcome back, sir." I mean, that's a great location. I'd love to get back there sometime. I don't know if I really have a worse a location I don't like. I don't know if I really have one I don't like. I like investigating all kinds of places.
How did the comic book come around?
That's an interesting story. I mean, when I was a kid, I always loved art and doing art. And I didn't illustrate it myself. I just ended up writing the story. I always loved to write too.
Yeah.
And I had written, started writing a book, and the stories were all based on different investigations, just based on some of the real evidence is there and stuff like that, and all. And but I hadn't been. I always used to go to Star Trek conventions when I was younger, and I hadn't been to one in many, many years, and they call them the Comic-Cons now. And a friend of mine invited me to go to one, so I went to one, and I was shocked by the thousands of people that go to these things. I hadn't been to one in years. I'm like, last time I was at one, I was lucky there was 200 people there. Now there's thousands of people come to these things. But we got looking around, we got looking at the comic book section, and suddenly it just dawned on me, like, geez, I wonder if any of my stories would make a good comic book.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's the wrong term, maybe graphic novel these days, whatever.
We
We always
know
call
what
them
you mean. It's a comic book.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
grew up
people
with
call them
comic
graphic
books, so that's
novels,
what they
Clayton
call
sounds
it. Yeah, it's a
cooler.
comic book. And so I was talking to a young lady there I met who's a writer, and she wrote stories for comic books and her own as well. And I just decided to ask her. I said, hey, I told her who I was and what I was into and what I was doing, and we had a nice conversation. I said, I was writing this book, but I wonder if any of these stories would make a better comic book. And I said, would you be willing to read a couple of the stories and just tell me? And I said, look, be brutally honest, because I'm 51 years old and I ain't got time, all right? I said, if they're junk, tell me they're junk. I'm serious. And she goes, okay. She goes, I will, She goes, but I'll tell you the truth. And so it took her a few weeks because she was still traveling and stuff. But she got back to me and said, hey, Jack, I want to write you back. These stories are great. These are actually great. She goes, and yes, I think they would make a better comic graphic novel, whatever you want to call it, than just a book. So she gave me the name of this gentleman, Alex Cormack, who does a lot of illustration for a lot of different, self-published comic books, and he does some work for some of the big companies too. But he's a younger guy. He's really good. He's a really good artist, and she really recommended him to me. So I went to him, and he just hit the nail on the head for the look I was looking for the whole story. And for the first page he sent me back, I'm like, Alex, that's it. You're it. I'm using you. You're going to do it. It came out, I guess, really well. I've had a lot of good feedback on it, and but it tells the story of not just the client, but these forgotten, which is what the name of it is, the Forgotten Souls of Bay Path. It tells kind of their story, and how we treat even today these forgotten souls, the destitute, the forgotten, and they went from just mass burials and in these graveyards to now we cremate them these days.
Yeah. And
we scatter their ashes. That's what we do. And it's still kind of sad. And even the tombstone they finally did put there, or the stone, which a woman and her husband fought hard to get the state to do something with the place. They put a fence around it. They did put a headstone in there, which really, when you read it, it's almost a tribute to the historical society that put the headstone there than it is to the people that are buried there. But and that's all part of that. But I wanted to at least recognize them, and Alex and this other woman there thought that would be a good story to start with, so we did. So it's kind of a tribute.
So where can people find this comic book then? Is it?
They can go to our website, and there's a link to it there, to where you can purchase it there. It's spiritsofnewengland.org is our website.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go on there, and you can find it under, I think, our shop or something like that.
Is it a
if you run into
or?
me, I'll probably give you a copy. So, you guys give me your address, I'll mail one over to you. I don't care. I know it's a little expensive, but I'll mail one over to you.
Awesome.
So,
I'd love to see that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So is it available in digital? Is it all
Yes,
hard
it is.
copies?
You can get it in either digital or hard copy. Yep.
Okay.
But I'll send you guys a copy just so you have one.
Awesome. Thank you. That'd be our little Christmas present.
Yes, exactly. There you go. So that's my way of saying thank you for having me on your show too.
Oh, thank you.
Are you ever thinking about coming to the UK?
Well,
I would love to get to the UK. It's when do I have time and the money? So
Oh, I know. The flights.
I work for a living too. You gotta remember, I work for a living. I would love to get out to see you guys and hang out with you, though. We'll try to figure that out.
You'll probably find that the flights are quite cheap at the moment because the pound keeps going down. So
yeah, that's gonna change back up.
I mean, what, 8 years ago, I think it was like $2 to a pound. I think now it's like $1.20 to a pound.
Yeah, it did come down quite a bit, but we know what that's all about. Yeah, it's gonna change. So, which, everybody's mad at you guys right now. Whatever. Too bad for them. They should have been nicer to you. That's all I can say. They all need you. They just don't realize it.
Yeah, pretty much. Is there any...
and I think that was the whole purpose, right? It's like you guys don't appreciate us, so
we're like, see you later. It's waving it.
You don't appreciate us. Bye.
Well,
we keep giving you money and we're not getting anything for it. So goodbye.
I mean,
I don't blame you at all.
We didn't actually vote because
I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't care.
I have another paranormal question.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's get back to that. Yeah.
If you could have your dream team, any celebrity on your dream team, it can't be a paranormal celebrity either. Who would you have?
Well, it can't be. It can't be a paranormal celebrity.
Can't be a paranormal celebrity. Has to just be.
Can I pick at least one?
No.
Oh, darn. Let me see. Norman Reedus.
Definitely. Definitely.
Because I've seen his biker show too, and I like him on that too.
In general, he's a funny person.
How many do I have to pick? Yeah, he is a funny guy.
Let's say a team of, if it includes you, let's say a team of 5, so 4 people.
Okay, so 4 more people. So 3 more people. All right, so Norman Reedus, Kane Hodder. Do You know who that is?
No.
No.
Kane Hodder played Jason
Oh, I know.
in all the Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Most of the
of
Friday
course.
the 13th. So Kane Hodder.
Yeah.
Isn't he in?
He's
He's a
guy.
paranormal investigator,
Yeah.
isn't he?
And he's actually,
Yeah.
he's also a good friend of one of our team members too, just so you
Okay.
know. So I had to keep Ray Kane in there. But he is a cool guy, I like him. So he's like, Norritas, Kane Hodder, two more, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Shucks. I can't think of her name. Hang on a second. I gotta get at least one woman on there, so hang on a second. And I know who I want, but I can picture it, I can't think of her darn name. She's also on The Walking Dead. Who plays Rosita?
Oh,
On The
I
Walking-
know, but I don't know
You know
what
who I'm
her
talking
name
about, though.
is. Know who you're talking about, but I don't know what her name is.
She was in the lineup but didn't get
Is it
killed.
Christina something? Hang on a second. So her,
She was like Abraham's
and then
girlfriend, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I know you mean.
And then I'll give you one more.
Andrew Lincoln.
No. That's That's gonna be my only two from there. Let me see. Rosita's kind of tough, so I kind of like her. I think she could do it. You know what I'm saying? I think she could be a paranormal investigator.
Yeah.
And let me see who's my last one.
See, it's a tough question.
Well, you know what?
It's
You know who I would think would be pretty cool one is Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's from my time, so you know, I go with Harrison. Harrison would be good. So there's
Isn't he like
my four.
70 now?
What's that?
Isn't Harrison Ford like 70 now?
Yeah, but he's still pretty cool. I mean,
There's no
he is. Hey,
Well,
he's
you
still
forget-
doing
you
movies.
forget-
He's
you
still
forget
working.
how
He's
old
still
you-
doing movies. If I couldn't have him, I'd say Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is funny as hell.
Tom Hanks is hilarious.
Yeah,
I didn't realise
it
how
would
often
be
he's in
Harrison
Saturday
Ford
Night
or
Live.
Tom Hanks. We can't have Harrison Ford. It'll be Tom Hanks. So let's go with those. I think that's a good. I think that's a pretty good lineup. You know,
It's good
I think
lineup.
that's a pretty good lineup.
If any of you are listening, come on. Get investigating with him.
So whereabouts in New England are you from?
I'm from, if you looked on the map, the closest thing you would find, I don't know if you'd find my town, but you'll find Albany, New York, which is the capital of New York State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm right up near Albany, New York. I'm in a little town called Rensselaer, New York. So,
And are you a
I'm right near Albany, right along the Hudson River, so.
are you a Patriots fan or?
Yeah, not big one on foul. My son is a big Patriots fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a big football follower. I'm a Yankees fan with baseball, so I follow baseball. My father was a big baseball fan, so that's probably why. But my son is a big New England Patriots fan. He's also a Yankees fan, though, too. So, so that's where I'm at. Yeah, I used to actually like in the old days. I used to like the Miami Dolphins. But I
they
don't
were big
really
in the
follow
90s,
them too
weren't
much
Old
anymore.
school.
How about you guys?
That's an old school.
I follow the Seattle Seahawks.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're a good team. You know,
Well, I mean,
good.
I think one of the reasons why I chose to follow them is because I'm a big fan of grunge music, and
Oh, okay. All
they
right.
came out of Seattle, so I thought, well, I'll just go with them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And,
My one daughter is a big Broncos fan. She was a big Broncos fan all the time. Still is.
Yeah.
So
And I
so
think-
we have a big conglomerate in my house. Everybody pretty much likes something different. My wife's from Ohio, so she goes with all those.
or the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. So yeah, it's all good. Yeah, that type of stuff. It's all good. As long as you like somebody, you like a team, you got a team you like.
That's
we're
the name
good.
of the team, babe.
Still funny.
Why?
I can't remember. I don't know. You know.
So,
But I can't. I don't know any of the Ohio teams
Well-
except the Braves. You know. Yeah, she follows them and stuff too.
I think the other team I like because it's. I've seen. I've actually been to see a proper NFL game
Oh, okay.
because they have them over at Wembley Stadium in London.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
I
Okay.
went in 2008 to see the New Orleans Saints and the Chargers. I forget where they're from.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I forget myself where the Chargers are from. I can't remember.
Now.
No,
yeah, so,
I can't
the
remember.
New Orleans,
But anyways, yeah, I didn't know they went over there and played.
yeah,
so
I mean,
didn't
I think they even had a game here recently at the England rugby stadium.
Ah,
I
okay.
think that was the Rams from LA and someone else, but I forgot who it was.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, Plus, that's right. I didn't know they went over there and played. I
Yeah, I
had no
think
clue.
it started
I had
off
no
with
clue.
one game, but they now have I think they actually have 2 or 3 games now.
That's
over
pretty
at
good.
Stadium. Yeah.
That's kind of cool because we don't see them here. They don't air those here or anything. So
No.
I didn't even know they were going over there to play. I think that's awesome though. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, the NFL has a big popularity over here, so
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the Super Bowl gets shown on the BBC now.
Oh, neat.
So,
I didn't know
I mean,
that either.
at
So
like 2 o'clock in the
I'm
morning,
learning
so,
so
yeah.
much from you guys tonight. That's pretty cool.
Well, if you're on the show again, we'll teach you some English slang words.
Oh,
So
that'd be cool.
You don't
Yeah,
get
that'd be-
confused.
I might know 1 or 2 from watching Doctor Who, but I mean.
Do you know, that is how a lot of our American friends learn about
I am a
England.
Doctor Who fan, yes.
That is a lot of how our American friends learn about England from watching Doctor Who.
Been watching it for many years. I grew up with Tom Baker, so he was my doctor. That's when I started watching. I was just young then.
Although obviously I wasn't born, my favourite Doctor was the guy after Tom Baker. I always forget his name.
Oh yeah, David.
No.
No. I thought his first name was David. I can't remember. I know who you're talking about. I liked him too. It was a good transition. If you had to have it.
No, but yeah.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I know who you're talking
Thing is,
about. Hey, good doctor.
We went to Wales beginning of the year, and that's where they filmed Doctor Who.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I wanted to go to this park bench where they filmed one of the scenes near to where we were staying.
I was like, I'll get a life.
I'm so sad.
That's right. We're all fans. It's okay.
I was proper like, I'm not going to see a park bench.
It wasn't in a park.
I'm not interested.
It was in the.
That
city.
makes it worse. What is the point?
Oh.
I don't know, just to tell me where it was. That's all. That's the only point.
In Wales, and it looks like any other bench.
It was in Newport.
Yeah,
in
but
case
it's the
anyone's
one though. It's the bench though. It's the bench.
It's a fucking bench.
That's what he sat on. That's what matters.
It's a bench.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Well, you talk about that. I'm a big Walking Dead fan, and I was down in Atlanta area during season 3, and I started following this. This guy has this online map of all the locations, and I went around to some of them. I got to see some of the locations from season 1,
Yeah, I wanna
season
do
2.
that.
And it was kind of neat. And then I drove into what was Woodbury, where where they were filming by accident. I drove right in. They weren't filming yet, but they were getting ready to film that night.
Yeah, because that was
And
season
I
3.
drove right up the main road. I'm like, oh my god, I'm driving down Woodbury. Look at this, And it's actually Sonoy, Georgia, but they turned it into Woodbury, and it was neat to see all the sets and all the stuff, and it's right in the town, and they make up the town for the whole thing. And,
Yeah, but the difference is that's a whole set. It's not just a bench.
well,
Alright.
true, it's not just a bench, yeah, but
Do you know what I mean?
but it's you drive by a church in the middle of nowhere that was in a scene, and it's still just a church in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but there's still something to look at.
Yeah,
What,
but you can't win. You can't
what's
win like
so
they did. You
interesting
just
about a
look at it from
bench?
the outside and go, yeah, that's the church, all right.
Apart from
You know.
someone who stuck chewing gum on it and completely like a penis on it.
As long as you didn't sit on the chewing gum, you're okay, though,
Do you know what I mean?
Uh,
Or one of them
I
rest in
get it.
peace plaques on the back of it. Here lies some dude that you don't even know.
Well, no, it's
down.
this bench is dedicated to so and so. The guy isn't buried underneath the
Yeah,
bench.
whatever.
Is that right? Is it right?
This bench
You're
is
not serious
dedicated
about
to
that, are you?
whatever.
People basically buy a bench in someone's honour.
Okay, alright.
And then there's like this
don't
little...
feel so bad. We buy bricks here in the US. You buy
And
a
then-
brick and they put your name on it and put it in a thing somewhere, you know.
Okay, well,
What
yeah,
was the point?
and then there's this little
Whoa,
brass...
whoa,
Red
hold on.
brick.
What's the point?
What was
is
that?
What
I
is
don't
the
know.
point in that?
I don't know.
I
It
tell
helps
I got
build
you
brick, I
for
guess, you
Christmas
know.
a brick with your fucking name on.
It helped to pay to build the bridge, you know, the walk bridge. So, you know, I guess that's what it was about. Kind of a donation to help build the walk bridge.
It's like if someone like gives you a goat for Christmas that they sent to Africa. What am I supposed to use that for?
I don't know.
Where's my present?
I don't know. Here's a brick with your name on it. Here, yeah.
Here's a brick with your name on it.
Oh.
And I got you a goat, but you can't have the goat. It's in Africa. Here's a bit of paper that says you've got a goat. What do you mean?
We could hide the goat in places and we could be goat hunters.
Or since
Sorry.
they ate it, you could talk to the spirit of the goat.
A goat ghost.
Well, what else
Amazing.
you guys want to talk about tonight? You got anything else
Amazing.
guys you want to talk about?
We really should have like introduced him.
Yeah,
Oh, here's
right,
the end
this
of the
is-
show. Let's introduce Jack Kenna from Spiritual. I think you did, though.
that could work. That could be our thing. We could introduce our guests at the end.
Yeah, and then confuse people that way. That'd be good. Yeah, that's good. You know. Was this the beginning of the show or the end of it? What, it just ended? They just introduced him. Wait, what happened?
We're British. So I don't get this. We're British.
We're backwards.
That's how we do things in the UK.
That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. I like different. That's okay. It's all good. It's all good. You know, those are the things we were talking about today about, you know, different people and the paranormal and stuff.
Oh,
And hey,
anyone
everybody
that
has their thing,
listens.
but it's all good in the end. You know.
We introduce people at the end of conversations and we put yous in words. That's what we do.
Yeah.
You,
Colour, favour, what else is there? Humour.
yeah. Oh god, you guys are hilarious. I love it.
Anybody that listens to our show or follows our YouTube page or actually follows us at all knows when we don't do anything normal.
No.
Good for you. Don't be normal.
Thing,
Be
this
paranormal. There you go.
this show isn't even that bad. I mean, we have another show called I'll hyphenate it to REF.
It's
but
called Random as Fuck.
It's called Random as Fuck. That we do with our friend Ryan, and I mean, that show's just weird. I mean,
Really?
on the first show, I ate one of those.
Listen
What?
You ate a Magic Tree car air freshener because I told
Yeah.
you to.
I did.
I
don't
gotta
know
listen to it sometime. I love those kind of shows. You know?
You should come
I love
on. Come and join us to be random as hell. Like random
I mean, we haven't broadcasted yet, but on the second show, it's
Ryan shopping.
basically we went shopping with Ryan, and he's walking around a shopping mall, and we keep getting him to do funny things. Like he went into a frozen yogurt store and tried a free sample, and basically had
Overreacted and orgasmed over it.
yeah, like it was the best thing he'd ever tasted. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Oh
And
my
then-
god, you guys are hilarious.
and then I made him buy me a cup. Because it had a Batman logo on it, and it was half price. I was like, it's $2. Just buy it for me.
Just buy it.
Now he's got to send it here somehow. So.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Well,
Yeah, you guys do some. That's obviously some cool stuff you're doing. So kudos to you there for that. Yeah, you guys are doing great stuff. So, and your paranormal stuff is great stuff too. I'm glad you guys contacted me. Glad everybody got in touch with me because it's been fun. You know what I'm saying? It's been a blast.
We're happy to. We like to have fun.
yeah, we don't like doing things that are too serious because we get bored.
Oh yeah, of course. Everybody does. You know, listeners, us, everybody gets bored when you get too serious. You got to make it a little bit fun. Same thing on investigations. You got to make it a little bit fun. You can't just be serious.
I mean, we've been to locations and it's been so dead and so boring that we ended up just playing music and dancing.
Yeah, hey, it's okay.
The funny thing is, as soon as we did that, we started to get things happening.
That's
We
right.
actually got activity. We got these weird photographs and all sorts of stuff happened. So
Yeah. Well, that's because,
work.
have you
That's
ever
some advice.
noticed during many investigations, they don't like to be the center of attention. They like to just kind of join in with what's going on.
Yeah, they just want to join in when they can.
Yeah, that's right. And we get more activity when we're just talking about stuff, and they're just kind of almost seems like they're joining in on the conversation with either K2 activity or just other things going on, noises that'll suddenly start happening, and just join in. They're just letting you know they're there and they're listening. So it's the best sometimes way to investigate.
Yeah, we find that they join in.
Yep.
We find sometimes they ask us questions.
Yes, that can happen. Yes, you're absolutely right.
We've had them ask.
I haven't seen that very often, but I have seen it. Yeah.
I'm trying to
it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
now you know they're really communicating with you.
I think at Rotham we got a question. I just can't remember what it was now.
We get a lot of spirits asking how we are.
Oh, really?
We get a lot of them go, "How are you?"
Yeah, through the SB7.
Really? That's interesting. I've never had any of them ask me of how I feel.
That's not very nice.
I don't care. I've had my name.
So I've got feelings too, spirits. Let's talk about me for a change.
Yeah, it's all about me. Yeah, it's all about me. I've had them call my name many times. So that's kind of interesting. EVPs and everything else. It's loud and clear. You hear Jack.
Yeah, we
come
had
right through.
A spirit turn around and shout that it's you, and I was using the SB7. It went, "It's you," and then a voice came through and said, "Watch it, Bella." But the name Bell refers to my past life. So he went, "Watch it, Bella," and then this woman's voice went, "Bitch, I hate you."
Tick off, really? I mean, seriously, who'd you tick off?
Who did you piss off in a past life? But Jack, it's been great having you on the show.
It has been awesome.
Well, it's been great being had on the show.
That's an odd way of putting it, but okay.
I just did that on purpose. You know that.
Yeah, that's fine.
But no, it's been great being on the show.
We'll talk to you for
and
longer.
Thanks for having me too.
We would talk to you for longer, but we've got to go on someone else's show.
That's okay. You guys go ahead. That's okay. But I'm glad you invited me on the show, and it's been great. And I hope you'll have me back again sometime.
We definitely will, and we'll just Skype just generally to chat.
But before we go, let's get you to do a bit of shameless self-promotion.
Yes, I do.
So
just self-promote the shit out of yourself.
So
oh God, what am I gonna say? Jack Kenna,
Haunted Coast Files.
Want me to just go with it?
Just
go
wild. Go on.
Okay, I'll go with it. So this has been Jack Kenna with Spirits of New England. Also, paranormal celebrity on Paranormal Survivor and Haunted Case Files. And also, don't forget about my comic book. It's called Spirits, The Forgotten Souls of Bay Path. You can check that out through our website, spiritsofnewengland.org. But seriously about stuff, if anybody needs to get in contact with me with anything, for anything, you can find me on Facebook. Or my good friends here will give you my information as well.
Yeah, we will.
But thanks, guys. Thanks, both of you, for having me on the show.
Thanks for coming on and introducing yourself.
So that's been Jack Kenna, in case anyone's wondering.
It's the UK thing. That's all I can say.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all good. But all right, guys. You guys have a good night. I'll let you go. I gotta get going too. So, but thanks for having me on. And let's talk some more.
Take care, mate.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to tune in next week. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Keep safe and sleep tight.